The U.S. Navy has finally acknowledged that videos appearing to show UFOs flying through the air are real. They don't call them UFOs, they call them unidentified aerial phenomena. The several videos they're talking about were recorded years ago by fighter pilots. Then in 2017, they were made public by the New York
Times, unveiled the existence of a real-life X-Files department. It's a 5-year secret government program to investigate mysterious flying objects, and especially focused on encounters by members of the military.
In late 2024 and well into the beginning of 2025, strange vertical shorts started appearing on platforms like YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, and even paid streaming services like Good Short and Real Short. Although they were swiftly removed wherever they appeared, 45 of them have been compiled by individuals on websites like Reddit. These videos claim to prove the existence of beings beyond our understanding called shapeshifters, a popular concept in our shared cultural and historical myths. So without further ado, let's take a look at the Shapeshifter Tapes Iceberg. Just a warning though, this material is disturbing and may not be for all viewers. Enjoy.
This strange statue called Mr. Spidey has been appearing on playgrounds around America. To play tag with Mr. Spidey, approach it and touch its nose while saying honk. Mr. Spidey will then transport you to its cold, dark dimension, where you will begin the game of tag. If you can find the dead end sign within an hour and touch it, you'll be transported back to your dimension and have good luck for the rest of your life. However, if you don't make it in time, Mr. Spidey will find you, and you'll be stuck in a web deep within its dimension forever. A strange phenomenon is occurring at toy vending machines in Japan, where every so often, people are opening an unmarked figurine called Demon King Gildreed. If you randomly open it, the Demon King will appear in your nightmares, telling you the only way to get rid of it is to buy more of its figurines. You'll waste thousands of dollars at the vending machines and never find another Demon King toy. Eventually, the nightmares will drive you insane, and you will become violent. To conduct this ritual, you must get the shed skin of a small reptile and place it under your pillow. Then, you will visit an abandoned tropical building known as the Reptile Resort in your dreams. As you explore the resort, your brain chemistry will change to more closely resemble the thought process of a reptile, and you will lose your emotions. Deep within the resort, you will find the mines, where there are untapped reserves of a glowing blue liquid called Minera. Terrible things happen within the mines that only the wealthiest people in the world know about, as businessmen and politicians often purposefully visit the reptile resort to discard their empathy and become capable of making more ruthless decisions. Do you remember Plucky the Pirate? It was a cartoon that was playing on several stations in the early 2000s. The monkey protagonist Plucky went on adventures with the rest of his animal crew. However, when parents left their children alone to watch the program, it's said that it changed. The colors became darker, and the story would take dramatic and violent shifts. It's said that children who watched the TV show alone would have higher rates of depression, and even that Plucky would say inappropriate and violent things to lone children.
No one can protect you from me, not even your mommy. I am going to find you.
Be careful bringing your kids to amusement parks these days. Apparently, a strange creature called the Hate Air Balloon has been appearing disguised as a ride, welcoming lone children to come play. It will have the passengers enter its cabin, then float upwards. But whoever gets on the Hate Air Balloon is in for a bad time, as they'll be locked in while the evil spirit floats away and brings them to another dimension. To play the Lucky Sixes game, drive around on June 6th, 16th, or 26th during a year that ends in 6 with $6 cash or coin in your pocket at night. You should see the 666 building appear on your path. When you enter the building, which is emblazoned by the beast's number, you should enter the elevator. Here you can predictably press the button for floor 6 3 times, and your ritual will begin. When you reach floor 6, you will meet the person you desire to meet most in life, or at least something that's taken their shape.
Good to see you again.
Have you ever heard of Hamilton Church Road?
It's an old path that runs through many parts of Middle America. Along the road are churches, but it's advised that you don't enter, as the clergy don't like outsiders. At the very end, you can find the graveyard. Turn right off of that, and you'll get to the dead end that people call Split Skull Stop. You see, the people of Hamilton Church Road do believe in God, but it's probably not the one you learned about in Sunday school. This website, flesh.net, has been appearing on the surface web. It lists several people, titled with codes related to different fruits and shades of the color red. People have posted about finding themselves on the site in online forums, but upon further questioning, other users never receive an update from them. It's unknown what this site is used for, but it's recommended that you stay away. Right before you fall asleep, when you're feeling especially drowsy, you might catch a glimpse of these goblinoid creatures called cage dwellers hiding in your room. If you're unlucky enough to see one, you'll wake up the next morning confined in a cage a couple dozen feet above ground. You'll panic, but feel relieved when you realize you can slip through the bars. The claustrophobia of the cage will overcome you, and you'll make the jump, foolishly believing you can survive the landing. Is that lamp looking a little strange? If you notice light sources shining much brighter than usual, you may be being stalked by Lanternhead. As soon as you notice this phenomena, you must snuff out all light sources around you. If there's even a sliver of light in your periphery when the sun goes down, you will visit the lantern dimension in your dreams. Here, Lanternhead will stalk you, and if he catches you with his lantern light, strange shape-shifting entities like Lanternhead are appearing in our world, and it's our job to learn about them so we can better defend ourselves and others. Good luck, fellow shapeshifter seers. If you see this odd flash drive, do not pick it up. Possessing this key, called the heart drive, immediately puts a target on your back. Governments are seeking the heart drive as they believe it contains blueprints for the ultimate weapon, while corporations want it believing that it contains AI that can perfectly predict the stock market. Darker yet, a nihilistic cult known as the Monster Masks will do anything to get the drive, as they believe it contains the most disturbing video in the world. Nobody knows what's really on the drive, but some hope it has scientific breakthroughs that can finally bring world peace. If you're confused why the world seems to be so obsessed with oil and turn down any alternative forms of energy, listen up. When the seal on Gilgamesh's tomb was broken during America's incursion in Iraq, ancient creatures known as sludge striders were released. These beings devour oil as their food source and have been manipulating the world since the early 2000s to harvest it. It's estimated that human beings use only 10% of the world's oil reserves, while the rest are offered as tribute to the sludge striders. If we don't feed them, the massive biomechanical beasts will wreak havoc on the American heartland, where they can often be seen disguised as giant steel monuments and factory gear. If your GPS or Maps app directs you towards a small town called Brookhaven, Rhode Island, do not follow the directions. Once you enter this strange village, your route will be blanketed by a thick fog, and you'll start to hear strange noises that don't match any living animal you've ever heard. On the dark road, you'll encounter animalistic abominations that you can't explain. Towards the end of your route, you'll enter the tunnel alone. No one knows what waits past the light at the end of the tunnel, but it's most likely not heaven. To get revenge on an enemy, try putting an item you value greatly into your hand and making a fist, then dip it into a lake bed. When you open your hand again, you'll have an artifact called a Doom Desire Dragon in it. Slip this into your enemy's belongings, as the gold token has a sinister reptilian spirit attached to it that will bring them great misfortune. It's speculated that many high-profile, supposedly accidental deaths, like that of John F. Kennedy Jr. and Princess Diana, involved a Doom Desire Dragon. This game, called slimegame.zip, has been randomly appearing in people's download folders across the world, and it's rumored to have originated on the deep web. Upon playing the game, you will become obsessed with the small protagonist, a likable minion of the Slime Queen, and you will never stop playing. You will begin living among trash and mucus that you hoard to prevent yourself from leaving your computer, and eventually, you will start eating it. In the end, your organs will be liquefied, becoming a disgusting green puree. If you find yourself feeling watched while walking around alone outside, you might be being followed by a group of abstract spirits known as the Children. These creatures are known to feed on negativity and enjoy making people feel isolated, whether it's by stalking you alone in empty places or by filling your mind with negative thoughts about your family and friends. If you find yourself spiraling into negative thoughts, try reaching out to someone you know to talk. As if you continue to dwell in depression, the Children will consume your emotions, taking on a more tangible physical form. If you're experiencing a period of immense stress, you might be lucky or unlucky enough to come face to face with the total escape button by chance. Just one press, and you'll be transported to one of 1 trillion random alternate lives. Be careful, though, as the life you're sent to may just be worse than the one you're trying to escape from. Littering is dangerous these days, as your trash might come back in the form of a vengeful spirit known as a paper pain. Once a paper pain has attached itself to you, there's no getting rid of it. It will stalk you and continue to harass you with increasingly threatening messages. In the end, you'll be left feeling like there's nowhere left to hide.
What the f?
If you're in a mansion or hotel alone past midnight and find a strange idol made out of mannequin hands, do not look at it. Once you see this artifact, dedicated to a malevolent spirit called Wadolika, you will be followed by her minions that take the form of dolls. Every time you look at one of these dolls, your vision will become worse and worse until you eventually go blind. Wadolika is said to be an incredibly vain entity who steals people's eyes to look at herself in mirrors. For many kids, the local woods is a staple of their childhood adventures. But be warned, a strange forest called the Red Hill Greenway is appearing in suburbs and country areas across the United States. These woods are characterized by their ever-changing paths, archaic monuments, and stark temperature changes towards the middle, transforming it into a winter wasteland. The forest's epicenter holds 3 brazen rings that seemingly travel around the states at will, bringing the rest of the woods wherever they go. Strange shape-shifting entities like the Red Hill Greenway are appearing in our world, and it's our job to learn about them so we can better defend ourselves and others. Good luck, fellow shapeshifter seers. If you see this huge skin-faced bird perched on your house, it's a sign that Sneaky Peeky is watching you. You'll notice dirty, wet footprints on your floor, but don't panic. Follow these rules for the day, and you will survive. Every time you hear knocks, knock back in the exact same way, the same amount of times. And if you hear a tapping on a window, lift the curtain immediately, within 10 seconds. If you follow these rules, you will never be visited by Sneaky Peeky again. But if you make just one mistake, for the ultimate catch of fisherman legend, try putting an earthworm into your right pocket. Then, take your boat through the eye of a tropical storm and return to shore within 3 hours. When you're back, rig up your fishing pole with the same earthworm as bait and cast out at sunset. You'll have a chance at catching the legendarily rare Moon's Folly fish, but be warned, it may be a little bigger than you expect. To use the magic marker map, write what you want most in life in the top right corner, then place it under the full moon at midnight. When you wake up the next morning, a map to what you want will have formed overnight, and your journey towards it will begin. Follow the map, and it will bring you on a path through the world to your goal. But as you move, parts of the map will disappear. Be careful, as if your goal isn't clearly defined, the map will vanish quicker, and if it vanishes completely, you'll be left stranded on the outskirts of reality and be hunted by former lost users of the map. If you come across an online clothing store called Doodle Demons, do not shop there. This bizarre indie clothing catalog appeared recently, and some think it originates from the deep web. Although the clothes may look catchy, those who put them on have come under the effects of extreme and unwilling bodily mutations overnight. Even though they look chic now, you'll be left feeling pretty uncomfortable in your own skin should you choose to buy them. If you find this artifact, called the Yule Bell, do not interact with it. Accidentally ringing it will transport you to Dark Eternia, the world of the Demon King. You'll find yourself wandering through an icy, snowbound wasteland that mirrors our own world. Deep within Dark Eternia, you'll have to contend with shapeshifters in their most primal forms. Once you've rung the bell, it will be inactive for 24 hours, meaning that you'll have to survive a whole day in this dark dimension before returning. If you receive this email, do not open it. Once you interact with the attachment, titled olddog.png, the same crippled dog from the photograph will start following you in real life. After 2 weeks, you'll discover that the photograph attached to the email has become demonic. This new form of olddog.png will start chasing you, and no matter what country you hide in, it will find you. If you visit an infamous location for demonic possessions, such as the Devil's Circle in Bear Creek, North Carolina, in a period of great suffering, you may find one of these golden artifacts. This token, called a suffering stone, is devoted to an ancient god of suffering that shapeshifters worship. You may sacrifice your intrusive thoughts, poor habits, and will to commit evil to the stone, and it will devour it. Be careful, though, as the more you sacrifice to the stone, the more it demands, to the point that it convinces struggling souls to start sacrificing their own flesh and blood. Have you ever seen a festival loop? They're playfully decorated doorways meant to attract curious minds, but do not enter them. On the other side, you'll be transported to the Rust Dimension, an industrial hellscape of interconnecting tunnel networks and machinery. These gates are set as traps by the Eros Seekers, animalistic constructs who worship a religion of pain. If they catch you, you'll be tortured at the heart of the Rust Dimension until you become another member of their sinister ranks. If you're walking outside in a bad mood, you might come upon a trail up to Mount Redbird. Once you enter, the titular red bird of the mountain will meet you. If it judges you worthy to pass, it will lead you upwards. You'll cross ancient wooden structures said to have been created by strange Meridian elves. On the trail, you'll become extremely happy. But be careful, as time moves much slower on Mount Redbird. If you stay too long, you may return home to a world that doesn't remember you. If you see a cone-shaped object in a strange place, be aware that evil shapeshifters may be near. This is a signal from Mira, a member of the shapeshifter species who rebelled against their dark creator to help humanity. In the ancient past, Mira's body was split into 4 legendary weapons for heroes to use in battle against the Demon King. It's even rumored that Excalibur, the legendary blade of King Arthur, is one of them. Strange shape-shifting entities like Mira are appearing in our world, and it's our job to learn about them so we can better defend ourselves and others. Good luck, fellow shapeshifter seers. To play the pumpkin game, cross a train track at midnight on Halloween, then follow the empty amber-lit path on the other side. You will come across a mansion covered in jack-o'-lanterns. Enter the mansion and you will meet Pumpkin Face. He will ask you a riddle, and if you answer it, you will be given knowledge that the elites have sought after throughout history. If you fail to answer it, you will become the new Pumpkin Face and be trapped in his abandoned Halloween dimension until the next player loses the pumpkin game. Having trouble with your math homework? Try writing your favorite equation on a piece of paper and eating it. Then find an equally spaced out area, like a basketball court, and you will be contacted by geometric anomalies called fractal fairies, who are highly advanced in fourth-dimensional mathematics. Famous mathematicians throughout history have learned from these strange beings, but be careful, as they might experiment on you by twisting your muscles and bones into increasingly abstract angles. Recently, large cities have been falling victim to intense, never-ending flash floods. This is a phenomenon known as the drip. When the shapeshifters' plans to cultivate fear in a given population center start to fail, they will use the drip as a last resort. Be aware that this massive flooding won't end until these dark entities are satisfied with the level of destruction, so your best option is to flee. If you see this yellow house on a forest trail, do not enter it. This place, lined with daffodils, is known as the Labyrinth House. When you enter, it first appears as a normal abandoned house, but as you walk further down to lower floors, they become stranger and stranger. You will pass corridors lined with a blue liquid known as Minera. In the final floors, you will enter the realm of the dead, where you'll be stalked by people who've become stuck in the maze of the house's inner paths. If the sky turns red on the night of an eclipse in your small town, be aware. This is a phenomenon known as a vampire curfew, where the elites in Middle American villages have made a deal with dark entities to feast on the so-called undesirables in their population. They will take abhorrent forms and stalk the place's circumference to prevent escape. This is considered an extinction-level event within the borders of the town, so your best bet is to stick together and try to fight back. If a Wi-Fi channel called screamyface.mp4 appears in your settings, do not connect to it. Connecting will download the infamous shock video known as Screamy Face to your device. No one knows where this video comes from, but some people believe it originates from a deep web red room. Those who have had the link shared to them as a prank have often reported seeing the same friend who sent it to them featured in the disturbing video, only to go missing and never be seen again. To find the Quester's basilisk, visit a vending machine at midnight and use only quarters from 1953 to buy a bag of chips. When you open the chips, you should receive a set of coordinates. First, collect a small gray frog from a nearby forest, then follow the coordinates and you will find the edge of a lake. At sunset from the lake, if you've done everything right, you will see a bridge appear. Start walking and you'll reach this bridge, the Sky Bridge, at nightfall. You will finally have a chance to do battle with the Quester's basilisk. If you defeat it, you will gain infinite riches, but if you fail... If you receive an anonymous invite to an online meeting, do not click on it. People who click the link are brought into a strange meeting room with several photos of people's faces, with audio of bizarre conversations. If you join, you will seemingly be ignored. However, these people are not random. The pictures being used appear to have all come from now deceased victims of freak accidents and criminal cases. It's unknown what the purpose of these meeting rooms is, but it's recommended that you stay away.
Have you seen the Blue Forest yet, Jacob?
If a large landmass suddenly appears in the water near your town or city, be aware. This formation, known as Alphys Island, is a legendary place that can reportedly be reached using an underwater subway network. In fact, major metropolitan centers throughout history have had subterranean tunnels built in their ports and harbors in anticipation of the arrival of Alphys Island. Once on the island, you will be confronted with a wild and barren land covered in snow. And in the center, you'll see 3 magnificent glowing rings, which perplexingly look just a little bit familiar. If you visit a game store and see a vintage comic book like this, do not read it. These artifacts, known as Demon King comics, are said to inflict an odd neurological condition onto readers. If you sift through the pages, you will find yourself addicted to the series and its lore, cutting out other aspects of your life until you become a complete hermit. Readers of this series have retreated from society and the public, shunning dating and socializing in favor of in-depth discussions of the series on online forums and obscure live streams.
Based on this latest issue, I think we can safely say that Gildred was one of the Meridian Elves.
Strange shape-shifting entities like Demon King comics are appearing in our world, and it's our job to learn about them.
so we can better defend ourselves and others. Good luck, fellow shapeshifter seers. If you're driving alone on a country road, you might end up passing by the farm. This strange mirage anomaly appears normal at first, with regular cows and livestock, but the further you go inside, the stranger it becomes. You'll see bizarre biomechanical monstrosities and things that don't belong in our world. Just don't stay inside the farm too long, as if you do, you might become the subject of its next experiment. If you see an unusually bulbous tomato like this while in the supermarket, do not eat it. This bizarre life form, known as an omega tomato, has the uncanny ability to make things grow to an immense size. In ancient times, it was worshipped as a weapon of war, but it's said that people who stumble upon it in the modern day have found more creative uses for it.
Let's see if that's gonna fit right down in my pants there.
The slime queen is an unusually elusive creature that has been spoken about in our legends for centuries. It's said that its body is entirely composed of the eerie blue liquid known as minera, which shapeshifters consume as a food source. Anyone unlucky enough to come into contact with the queen will be absorbed into her aqua-like insides, where giant white blood cells will painfully dissolve them. Her influence is global, as she's created products like diet slime, which include her essence to spread the slime agenda. The most bizarre thing about this aberration is that nobody's ever seen her. The slime queen is so fast that you won't be able to catch a glimpse before she strikes, only hearing movement and a faint leaking sound. If you see a group of shadowy individuals wearing masks resembling mythical creatures in public, be aware. This cult, known as the Monster Masks, appear at gatherings and sow discord, inciting people into violence. They have been seen at many protests and rallies throughout the world, quickly accelerating them into riots and uprisings. It's unknown what their motive is, but they're said to be formerly disgruntled members of society who made a deal with the Demon King for a new identity.
When you put on the mask, truth becomes fluid, and you can change anything, even your past.
If you see this off-putting idol in your city, the end is near. The creature depicted, known as the Devil Dragoon, is the genesis of all shapeshifters and the final avatar of the god of suffering. It's a strange, tumor-like mass with multiple hands, a fell wing with arteries that spill out onto the ground, and gray, tepid flesh. Its origins are unknown. Some believe it's the ultimate ancient predator that arrived in a meteor from Saturn to destroy the dinosaurs, while others believe it's an AI created by an advanced society in the far future, who sent itself back in time to manipulate history and ensure its eventual creation. Either way, if it sets its red reptilian eye on your civilization, there's no escape. The beast is known to have a special relationship with the Demon King, and it's hypothesized that one created the other, or that they are indeed the same entity. The Devil Dragoon crawls along the psychic plane, altering the shared human subconscious to induce fear, while Demon King Gildreed serves as its salesman and representative in the physical world. It's one of the 10 most powerful creatures in our universe, and myths that speak about it, though sparse, tell us that it can never be truly killed, only locked away in the astral world by destroying Gildreed. Its back is lined with 3 golden circular dorsal rings, which are known to appear on land and around the sea when it travels underground and through the ocean. Inside its disgusting bile-filled organs, it can produce minera using an alchemical process involving the blood of innocents. Strange shape-shifting entities like the Devil Dragoon are appearing in our world, but they don't have to be. It's important to keep in touch with your community and look out for one another. The shapeshifters want nothing more than to split us up and return to the primal world of strength where they ruled over us as gods. But through the arts and sciences, we can continue to develop our understanding of ourselves and the world we're in. And one day, we may be able to understand the shapeshifters themselves. So for one final time, here we go. Strange shape-shifting entities are appearing in our world, and it's our job to learn about them so we can better defend ourselves and others. Good luck, fellow shapeshifter seers.